Well, hello, YouTubeverse. TC back in the house here. Quite literally. I'm usually like sitting at my dining room table to do the videos, but I'm in my kitchen because I am cleaning up. Actually, just finished cleaning up, waiting for the dishwasher to finish. You know, some usual adult crap to do. But for some reason, I was thinking I didn't do the video on my latest doth and septum piercing, which I did. But that kind of also goes with the factor that I can't believe that they're almost 4 months old. But also on that note, for a while now, I was thinking about stretching my earlobes again. But the last time I thought about doing it was 7 years ago because I wanted to stretch them for my wedding. Because I saw this picture I thought was really, really cute. Someone had the 3 of their lobe piercings stretched, and they had tunnels or eyelets, whatever you want to call them, in their stretched lobes, and they had a twisted barbell going through it. I wanted to try to attempt that for the wedding, but oddly enough, just going to a 10 gauge blew it out. I didn't know a 10 gauge could blow out until then, but it did twice, so I gave it up. I was like, obviously I'm not supposed to have stretched ears. It's not meant for me. Then after watching a lot of the piercing videos I like to watch on YouTube, I decided to give it another try after a friend of mine, a very new friend of mine, mentioned that he thought that it would look good, and he just assumed that I would have it. Like it was a natural thing that he thought I would have. Through the discussion of the factor that I had it before, I found myself yearning to do it again. As a kid, when I first was doing it, I say as a kid, and I was probably like 17 or 18. So yeah, here or there as a kid. When I had first decided to do it, I got the tapers from like Spencer's or Hot Topic, the acrylic tapers. And after this conversation, I decided to try to do it again with these acrylic tapers. And I keep hearing that Vaseline is good for doing it, but I have this big tub of A&D that I was using instead. But even so, the acrylic felt like it was pulling on the skin in my ear. So I, again, thought maybe not. But through these videos I've been watching, I found out that acrylic is not the best idea for this. And it makes a lot of sense. So I went ahead and ordered a titanium stretcher taper kit. Goes from 14 gauge to 00. I decided I wanted to stop at 2 gauge. I bought a bunch of 2 gauge plugs and eyelets or tunnels, however you want to refer to them, and did that purposely to make myself stay at a 2 gauge for a while. I mean, I feel at this point I might wind up stretching them more, but for a while I want to stay at 2 gauge. It worked out seriously well. I had some of my doth jewelry in my first piercing, and that was just to see if they were stretched enough to start. Here, I mean, I knew that they never shrunk fully down to an 18 gauge or 20 gauge, whichever one it may have been. I know they never shrunk fully back. I knew that from the get-go, because there were times that I would wear 14 gauge jewelry and I wouldn't have a problem. But yes, baby. Did what?
I cleaned up all the crowns.
You cleaned up all the crayons? Good job.
We know where and Chloe.
Okay, well, go ahead and play. Mommy's doing something real quick. My daughter in the background. Yeah, so I had worn some 14 gauge jewelry in my ear just for the fun of it before, because I still have some of my jewelry left over from when I stretched before. And when this kit came in, I put the 14 gauge in and it went straight through my ear. So I was like, okay, I guess they're definitely larger than a 14 gauge. So I went ahead to put the 12 gauge in, and again, on the right side, it went straight through. On the left side, there was a little bit of resistance. So I was like, okay, my left side is probably a 10 gauge. So I went ahead and put the 10 gauge ones in with, of course, the help of the A&D, and had no problem. Even though, like I said, there was some resistance to the 12 gauge, it was not an issue to do it with the 10 gauge at all. And I know I did it way too quickly, but it wound up working out in like a week that my ear went to a 2 gauge. I know that's way too quickly, but I mean, I used the titanium, I used the A&D. I took some of my Advil liquid gels and I iced my ears down to help with the swelling so I could sleep. And gave it a few days in between each time of switching from a 12. Well, 12 wasn't even an issue. Switching from a 10 to an 8 to a 6 to a 4. And then I didn't think that the 2 would take as quickly as it did, because the 6 and the 4 had some resistance. The 4 more so than the 6, because when I stretched my ears before, I had only stretched to an 8 gauge. I wasn't really interested in stretching any further. But the stretch to the 4 gauge was probably the hardest and probably the one that gave me the most resistance. The 2 gauge wasn't as bad as the 4 gauge, oddly enough. I don't know if maybe I was used to it by this point or what. I mean, I still did have to ice them down and take my Advil, but whereas the stretching to a 6 gauge was probably like a 5 on the 10 scale. The stretching to a 4 was probably more of an 8 on the 10 scale. It was really, really painful. But then stretching to the 2, I scale it back again, was probably more of like a 5 on the 10 scale. I know I have a high tolerance for pain, and even so, that's a lot for me. None of my piercings or tattoos have ever come that close except for one of my tattoos. And that's another reason why I decided to do this video and update on some of my modifications aside from just piercings. When February rolled around and we got our tax return, we got our tax information so that we could file our tax return, I went online and did it quick because I purposely wanted to have it in March if I could. We got it back February 28th. My whole purpose for this was because my mom's birthday is in March and I wanted to get my tattoo for my mom. I'm sure you can go through my library and see where I talk about the tattoo I got for my grandmom. That was my pinup girl right here. Because I'm trying to do a whole sleeve of like comic book characters for my friends and family because I got Rogue and Superman for my husband and I right before our wedding. So hard to believe that that tattoo is 7 years old. But with that, since my mom and my grandmom were never really into comics, I remember now that my grandmom was into Garfield and still is into Garfield. So I might just put a little Garfield at the bottom too. But anyway, since they were never really into comics, I decided to do pinup girls for them. And with that, I have a whole explanation in one of my previous videos for Teresa. But with that, I wanted to do the one for my mom. So this is Linda. It's going to be a little hard to get her on camera. No, it's actually working a little bit better than I thought it would. Now, as a kid, we left my dad when I was 3. I don't know if I explained that in the previous video when I talked about Teresa. But when I was a kid, someone said parents, I thought of my mom and my grandmom because my dad was not in the picture. My dad has since been back in my life and it's been wonderful. But with that, my mom has been my mom and my dad my whole life. When sitting down deciding to design this tattoo, the first thing I thought of was the fact that my mom had to teach me all the feminine things in life, but she also had to teach me all the masculine things in life. She had to teach me how to be able to, I hate to even categorize things as feminine and masculine, honestly, so I'm not going to, but I'm sure you guys understand what I mean. My mom had to be the strong person as well as the soft person for me in my life. And I don't think that strong should qualify just for man and soft should qualify just for woman. I never have. Maybe this is why, but nonetheless, when sitting down deciding to design this tattoo, I wanted something that represented strength and beauty. So the first thing I thought of was a Greek goddess. On that note, the first Greek goddess that came to mind was Athena. And it works out really well because my mom's favorite animal is an owl. So I was going to try to design it where I put the owl perched on her shoulder, but it was a little too busy. So I had decided to put the owl on the shield instead. My artist did a wonderful job with making that eye just pop. It's on the side of my arm rather than the front of my arm. And I still wind up turning my arm so I can look at it because it's incredible. I love it. His line work was incredible. We have these waves going on with all the Greek garb that she is wearing. And you can see here, she has her own tattoo sleeve as well. Because my mom regrets that she has never gotten a tattoo, but she has fibromyalgia pretty severely. So she's afraid to get a tattoo because of that. I can't say I blame her. She has days where she literally feels like she's walking on push pins, just stuck in her feet, and she can't do anything about it. So like, why would you want to pay somebody to have a needle going in and out of your skin just to make a pretty picture? Not worth it. I totally understand. So on that note, she kind of vicariously lives through me with my body modifications. So when I designed the tattoo, I decided she needed to have a tattoo sleeve of her own. My mom has always loved flowers, has been one of her favorite things in the world. She has actually said that they are a gift from God. And with that, I decided to have her tattoo sleeve be flowers. I don't know if you can really see it that well in this lighting, but it is a flower tattoo sleeve. Her favorite color is purple, so we did the flowers red and blue and then highlighted everything in purple. Works out very well that way. Before the fibromyalgia, my mom had really long, dark brown hair, like almost black, dark brown. Gorgeous, gorgeous hair. And telling the tattoo artist this, he decides to throw in some brown into her hair. But then I told him that with the fibromyalgia, she wasn't able to handle that. It was too much. She can't keep her arm up like this for as long as it takes to brush that hair or to blow dry it. So we wound up cutting her hair short, and she's been coloring it red. So he threw in not just the brown, but he threw in some red and orange to make it pop really nicely there. And like even that, the way it's colored feels very Greek to me. I really love the way he did that. And kept all my design. The only thing I asked him to do was the owl, because I never actually drew the owl. I just had like these Greek symbols building up an owl, but I wanted more of a solid owl. And you can see in some of the gray line work there, he has like the feathers going on. It all worked out very, very well. Then also with this, I wanted to get my crochet hook tattoo. I've been dying to get this for years. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years now since I thought of the concept, maybe even a little bit longer. But I called around to tattoo shops, I emailed tattoo shops, and they all wanted to charge me $100 to $150 or more, especially if I added color. The reason why I was really upset with this was because a crochet hook is really just one big line around with a few little bumps in it, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And if I add color, I'm only doing one color. So my cousin said he was going to do it for $20, then he backed out. The reasons for all of these things with these tattoo artists was because I wanted it on my finger. And they said that finger and hand tattoos, they're trying to quit doing them because the ink tends to fall out, it fades away really fast, it doesn't really stay as well as it does in any other part of the body. I'm like, well, duh, your fingers are always moving, you're always washing your hands, hopefully. And I'm a bartender and a waitress, so obviously I'm washing my hands like every 2 minutes. For those of you who don't know that, yes, bartenders, servers, waitresses, whatever the hell you want to call us. We wash our hands roughly every 2 minutes. Every time we enter that kitchen, the first thing we're doing is washing our hands. Every time. Anyway, I could go on a whole rant about people thinking that the people in my industry are dirty. But I would tell the artists that I understand this, but I still want to give it a try. Like, let me give this a try. They would say, sure, but for $100 to $150 or more. No, not doing it. I set up an appointment for one for $100 just because it was the cheapest. And I did like this artist's work. Yes, baby. What?
I got snacks for Superman.
You have snacks right here. Close that.
Okay, I'll get snacks for Superman.
I'm not editing this out because I think it's very, very cute. But anyway, I set up this appointment, and then my lovely daughter that you hear in the background here had an accident, got really burned. I had the appointment set up for my birthday. This happened a couple days before my birthday. I forgot to call or email the tattoo artist to let him know that I had to cancel. So upon realizing that, I messaged him. Never gets back to me. So I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not talking to you. I'm not coming to you. I had a pretty legitimate excuse for not coming to my appointment. What are you doing?
I need something from the fridge.
What do you need?
A drink.
I'll get you a drink in a few minutes. Okay? Let mommy finish this up first. I'm almost done. Close it. Close it. But nonetheless, my husband was going to pay the money for me to have it done for my birthday as a present from one of the other artists that was trying to charge me way too much. I'm sorry. I tell you that I'm still wanting to risk this. I still want to go into it and give it a try. Why are you still going to charge me so much? Every single artist told me that it was because they don't want to do finger or hand tattoos anymore. Okay, that's not my fault that you don't want to do them anymore. I'm telling you, I understand every little bit of this risk going into it, and I still want to try it. And you won't let me unless I pay you a ridiculous amount. Because then after that, they also said that they wouldn't do free touch-ups at all. Like, not the first touch-up would not be free. I'd still have to pay them again. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So my friend hooked me up with this artist that did Linda for me. And I talked to him about Linda. He gave me a very good price on her. Then I talked to him about the crochet hook, and he told me $20. I was like, I'm down. I'll be there as soon as I possibly can. I wound up taking a day off of work just so I could go and see him because, unfortunately, we share the same days off. That's mommy's, but I'll let you wear it in a minute, okay? I was just going to say that. You can wear Jack and I'll wear Sally. But with that, I did wind up getting my crochet hook tattoo. You might have actually seen it with me moving my hands around in the video. I know you do. It does have to be touched up. I got it in the beginning of March. I tried my best to not have it fall out, and I don't think that it really worked out that bad. The artist told me he would do the first touch-up for free. Any other touch-ups after that, he'd have to start charging me. He charged me $20 for the tattoo to begin with. I am more than happy with that. So, without further ado, that's my crochet hook. The only one that fell out really bad is the tip there, where he has to redo the tip. Which, yeah, it does suck. At this point, it could look like anything else but a crochet hook. But I don't care. I think that it worked out really well. I'm definitely going to have him touch it up. Actually, it looks worse on the camera than it does in person. So that says a lot too. But that's why I wound up having this big ass tub of A&D. Because when I got the tattoos and I went to get the A&D, this was actually on sale. So it worked out. Since I wanted to stretch my ears again and everything worked out. I actually wound up getting, excuse me, sweetie. Excuse me.
I mean, picture too.
It's not a picture, it's a video.
I'm being it too.
Mommy's filming a video for YouTube. Hold on. I'm putting it down over here so that I can get my collection out real quick.
Mommy, you look creepy on that one.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
You moved.
Gotta love the honesty of kids, huh?
You moved a lot, and then you looked creepy on that one.
I wasn't actually planning on showing my jewelry when I started. I wasn't planning on even doing this video this lengthy when I went into it, so please excuse me. But I am back. This was the kit I had ordered. I ordered it off of Amazon, actually. Don't play with that. Don't play with that.
Rainbow one.
Well, maybe I'll change to my rainbow ones after I'm done with this video. This is the kit that I ordered off of Amazon. It was VC Mart. You can barely see that. It still says that on the bag. But VC Mart. It was really cheap, and it's really high quality stuff. Really awesome titanium. I chose titanium over stainless steel because stainless steel is actually 50 times heavier than titanium. If you did not know that, stainless steel is 50 times heavier. I was talking to my well, they say titanium is half as heavy as stainless steel, so take it from there. I was talking to my cousin who had his tongue pierced not too long ago, and he said that it felt really heavy when he first got it, and it actually still kind of feels heavy, and he got it done about 3 months ago. So I told him, I was like, you know, you can change that piercing out now. It's heavy because it's still the stainless steel that you got pierced with. I would have asked them to use titanium, but all of the jewelry looks like this. It comes with the taper and then the eyelets as well, with the O-rings on them. You can see everything really, really clearly. I chose rainbow. I love anodized titanium rainbow, especially when it actually looks rainbow and it's not just blue and green. I've always really liked rainbow stuff, but a lot of my choices to get rainbow stuff now is for gay pride. If you guys hadn't, if I didn't mention before, I don't know if I did, I'm pansexual. I'll put that in your hair in a minute, honey. I'm almost done here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I decided to do a little bit more in the video than I had initially planned to. But I don't know if you heard her say she wanted me to wear my rainbow ones. She was not referring to my tapers and eyelets. She was referring to these awesome little dream catchers I found. You can see here there's titanium anodized rainbow. And again, you can see multiple colors in them, not just blue and green. You can see the purple, the yellow. The red kind of gets flushed away in the purple, which I totally understand, or pink, however it winds up coming out. But I love these. They're beautiful, they're adorable, and they're not heavy. I do have some coming in that have things hanging down off of them, and I'm a little worried about them being heavy, but we shall see. I ordered them off of Wish, so not much of an expense if they wind up being too heavy. I'm wearing some of my galactic ones, or cosmic, however you want to refer to it. They look like the freaking galaxy. I don't care how you refer to it. They're gorgeous, and I love it. Then I'm sorry, I really did not plan on doing this part of the video, so I was not really prepared for it whatsoever, but I have everything in the same bag now, so it'll make it a lot easier. I love when these things are shipped in these little Ziploc plastic baggies, because then it makes it so easy to store them. When I ordered my galactic plugs, it came in a 3-pack. So you can see some of the other galactic ones. Why am I having trouble lining up with the camera now? You can see some of the other galactic ones right here. Came in 3 different types of galactic or cosmic, however you want to refer to it. I don't even know if I have matching ones on, but I'm like, doesn't matter. The galaxy doesn't match exactly. I'm trying to reform my Under the Sea collection, my Under the Sea mermaid, pirate, what have you collection. I actually am visiting Claire's a lot now that they're going bankrupt to try to see if I can get a bunch of hair clips for my daughter. And I've, of course, after I decided to stretch my ears, they have a bunch of Under the Sea jewelry again. But whatever, that's neither here or there. I don't care. I went to the point of no return with my ears now, so it doesn't matter. But these, I don't know if you can really tell, they're mermaid scale there, and then they have this like shell forming around the side, and they have all these beautiful blue gems. They were the second pair I ever wore. Yes, baby? Yeah, the second pair, because I tried to put that pair in and didn't realize I grabbed this pair. Or no, I tried to put it in the moon ones and didn't realize I grabbed this pair. These are skulls and flowers. Don't know. Yeah, there you go. You can see that pretty well right there. I was torn between these and a different pair because I don't really usually go for blue unless I'm doing my Under the Sea collection. But the blue flowers I thought looked really, really pretty on that one. So it worked out very well. I was ecstatic to find these ones. Always been a huge fan of artwork, and then I became a big fan of Doctor Who, and the Van Gogh episode, or the Van Gogh episode, however you want to say it, was definitely one of my favorite episodes, and Van Gogh has always been one of my favorite artists. And I found these Starry Night 2-gauge plugs. If I do decide to stretch up like I'm talking about, I'm going to have to buy these ones again. Or I saw somebody talking about how they just wrapped some of their plugs in like electrical tape to get up to the next size. So I'll try to do that so I don't have to waste a bunch of money. But I mean, on Van Gogh plugs, it really will not be a waste at all. Because Van Gogh is an amazing, well, was an amazing artist. Then I found these moon plugs. I wore them over the weekend, and I changed my industrial to my moon industrial as well. You should be able to see that in one of my previous videos as well. I don't know why I keep trying to do it with my left hand. I keep not being able to line it up with my left hand. So there you go. You can see there that they're like a silhouette of the moon. It shows like all the craters and the shadows. As much as I've always been obsessed with Under the Sea and mermaid stuff, I've always been obsessed with galactic and the moon and stars and everything like that too. My only pair of tunnels or eyelets, aside from the ones I got to stretch my ears with, were these little kitty cat ones. I still can't put in because they're double flared, but I know we'll get there. You can see these kitty cats here. You can see they're double flared in the back. I watched a video actually on Urban Body Jewelry's YouTube. Let me see.
I want to stick on the stickers. Can you take it
I
off?
watched it on Urban Body Jewelry's YouTube page. Urban Body Jewelry is actually the only website where I was able to find my, you're welcome, my seashell Thoth ring. It's actually listed as a nose ring, I think, but it was way too big in my nose, way too big. And the only stone ones I have, well, not the only stone, I have 3 stones. I don't know why I said that, but I found these tiger's eye stone kitty cats. They actually appeared a lot bigger in my ear than the rest. I don't know why, but I love tiger's eye. I always have. Good symbol of power and protection for a Wiccan. Then I got these. They came in a 2-pack as well. It's a little hard to tell. I don't know if it's because it's such a small stone or what, but they are heart-shaped opalite 2-gauge stone plugs. There we go. I got it with my left hand. And they came in a pack with 2-gauge rose quartz heart stone plugs as well. And my husband and I have always loved opal, and he's always loved rose quartz. I'm not a huge fan because it has that pinky look, and I don't really like pink too much, but they're really pretty, really cute. Again, my obsession with under the sea and mermaids and the ocean and the cosmos and the moon and the stars. I've always been obsessed with hearts. Hearts, stars, and shamrocks. I get teased for that one quite a bit since I'm a short little Irish woman. But yeah, so this was completely unplanned and completely unscripted. So I'm sorry if it was kind of bouncy all over the place and all that stuff, but I'm glad to have gotten another video banged out for you guys. I'm hoping to be doing a couple more videos very soon. I'm hoping to actually do a lot more with my YouTube page very, very soon. So please stay tuned. I will try my very best to try to do something else. I'm sure you heard my 3-year-old little girl in the background, so that takes up a lot of my time, as well as working as, you know, a bartender and a server. And my cousin, who was supposed to be doing that finger tattoo for me before, was apprenticing me in tattooing before he decided to give it up. So I did get my tattoo kit. I just need to get one more piece before I can start with it. And I did do a tattoo on him before. I got a lot of the practice skins, so I can practice up with it a lot more. But I'm already getting a little bit of a line of customers, which is really, really cool. So you might wind up seeing some of that too. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, any positive comments, anything at all, please leave them in the comment section below. I don't really get a whole lot of comments in the comment section below. A few of mine before were in another language on one of my slideshow videos. So please, come on, interact with me. It'll help me with getting this channel up and running a little bit more. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if you can tell, but especially with now sharing about my body modifications, and hopefully there'll be more of them coming up very soon too. So come on, chat with me, comment, get the ball rolling. All right. Peace out. Rock on. Talk to y'all later.